Evening. We will go ahead and kick off our regular board meeting tonight, Tuesday, April 19th, 2022. A quick welcome. I hope everyone had a great spring break. And for those who celebrated a holiday this weekend, I hope you had a great holiday as well. Let's go ahead and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a lot going on in the world today, so it's nice to take a Tuesday night and focus on our children and the resources to help support their development. So with that, let's head to the reading of the mission statement. Mr. DeFranco.
The mission of the school district of Springfield Township is to educate and develop all students as learners and citizens who are high achieving, resilient, and responsible in a changing global community.
All right, let's go to roll call.
Mr. Needleman.
Here.
Mr. DeFranco.
Here.
Dr. Etlin. Here. Mrs. Green.
Here.
Mrs. Hubley.
Here.
Mrs. Hughes.
Here.
Mrs. Slipinski. Dr. Taratusky.
Here.
Mr. Bedard.
Here. And a quick announcement, the board at its discretion may videotape all or any portion of public board meetings subject to the limitations set forth in policy 006 meetings. Board meetings will be broadcast on Friday afternoon following each board meeting. Now let's jump right into reports and information. My favorite report, the student report from Ms. Madison Dunlop.
Thank you. All right, so over at Enfield this month, they're celebrating Autism Awareness Month, and they have provided ribbons to all staff and in classrooms. At the end of the month, they will also be having a building-wide event where students and staff will be wearing blue or autism awareness shirts, and they will have related activities. On the 8th, they had their visiting artist, Mr. Reggie Laurent, virtually visit. He shared some of his colorful artwork and showed the kids how to create some of their own. Over at Erdenheim on March 24th, they partnered with Enfield to celebrate Women's History Month by inviting women in our community to present to the classes ways they have demonstrated pride, perseverance, respect, integrity, dependability, and empathy. Each classroom had 1 to 2 presenters. On Monday, April 4th, students in 4th and 5th grade participated in the Montgomery County Intermediate Unit's Reading Olympics competition. Throughout the year, their students worked extremely hard reading books and preparing for this event. Over at the middle school, there's a new assistant principal and athletic director, Mrs. Brady. The girls' lead program is selling Spartans for Ukraine pins for $1, and all the benefits will go to the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund. Their PSSAs are also coming up. Auditions for their talent show will be on April 20th, and the actual talent show will be on the 28th. The Reading Olympics team also competed in the Montgomery County IU contest. Over at the high school on April 1st, we had our March Madness competition held by Student Council and our VOE showcase at night. On April 20th, we are holding a parent-to-parent conversation about the college selection process. On April 27th, 9 students and myself will be attending the award ceremony for the Greenfield Film Festival virtually, and we'll be having a dinner to celebrate. All of us came up with ideas, filmed, and edited our own 6-minute films to enter into this contest. And April 29th is our junior and senior prom. Thank you.
Looking forward to the prom. All right, and I said that was my favorite, but close second is the Finance Committee meeting report. So Dr. Taratusky, you have a report for us.
Sure. Good evening. And we held the Finance Committee meeting via Zoom on Thursday, April 7th, 2022 in the morning at 8 a.m. So bright and early, Ms. Sarah Hughes joined us, as well as Gretchen Slipinski and myself, Dr. Yana Cohn, Kara Green, and Samantha Jenko. We discussed a very comprehensive proposed budget presentation by Ms. Green and discuss the timeline. So all of this will be presented at a future board meeting, but just as by way of review of what we discussed, the timeline is that by May 12th, we will review the final budget with the Finance Committee, and on May 16th, the proposed final budget will be approved. On June 6th, the final budget review will be with the Finance Committee, and the board will approve the final budget on June 21st. Through the budget assumptions, we're assuming that we understand that the Act 1 index for this year, 2022-2023, which is actually the upcoming year, is 3.4%. And this is the maximum that the district can raise property taxes. Historically, the district has kept these tax increases below the Act 1 index. Revenue budget is based on historical trends, current economic climate, and external data. A majority of the district revenues are derived from local sources, including real estate taxes and earned income tax. Revenues also derived from the state and federal government through subsidies, reimbursements, and grants. The revenue estimate under the proposed budget is $63,407,931. And we have contractual obligations such as salaries, benefits, leases, licenses, utilities, custodial, and security services that make up 87.5% of the expenditure budget. There are new positions that will be added for the upcoming year, and other expenditures included in the budget are technology upgrades for district students and staff. The proposed budget tax increase of 2.8% was discussed. Anticipated expenditures at that level would be $64,823,915, and revenues would be $63,407,931. The difference is about $1.4 million at this point, and we looked at options of a 3% tax increase and a 3.4% tax increase. For comparison, the district also has requested a 2.5% increase analysis, and the board has requested that to look at the next meeting. There was one member of the public who was present at the meeting, and that member noted that the information that was presented and discussed was very helpful. So it was a very productive meeting, and I just want to thank Ms. Green for doing a comprehensive presentation, and I'm sure we'll look forward to hearing that at the board. Thanks. Any questions from our board at all about that meeting? No, it's a lot of information. Always is. Okay, great, thanks.
Great update, and I'll echo the thanks to Ms. Green for landing that preliminary budget within guidance provided by the board. So excellent work. No other comments or questions? We'll move on to all of the fun stuff is loaded right at the beginning. Another one of my favorites, the superintendent report from Dr. Yannicone.
Thanks, Mr. Bedard. It's nice to see everybody again. As I said to the team today, we've got about 35 days left in the school year. It's going to move very quickly now that we've finished spring break, a very late spring break, and we're excited for the next few months of school. This week on Thursday, we want to encourage all of our students and staff to wear purple. We're going to purple up for military families. Military families across the United States make a lot of sacrifices, and their children make sacrifices as members of military families. So this Thursday, we're going to encourage everybody to wear purple and celebrate our military families, and in particular, our military kids. And as Maddie mentioned in her report, Autism Acceptance Day was officially April 2nd. If you look up the national day, that was a Saturday. And so we selected Tuesday, April 26th for the district to celebrate Autism Acceptance Day. And so we're encouraging everybody to wear blue that day. So pull out your purple this week on Thursday and your blue on Tuesday. And then the other school happening I wanted to mention is that for the 9th consecutive year, the National Association of Music Merchants has named Springfield Township in Montgomery County as one of the nation's best communities in music education. This is a tremendous honor. It involves a great deal of work to be recognized by our music staff and by our terrific students and the parents who drive them back and forth to lessons and drive them here early and pick them up late and take them to events on the weekends, et cetera. So we're very pleased. And next month, as we do every year, we'll be bringing some of our music students here to meet the board and to be publicly recognized, and the music teachers as well. So that was exciting news to get over the break. At the district level, want to just remind everyone, we have our last Equitable Practices meeting of the year next Wednesday, April 27th at 6:30 in the middle school library. So for the first time in a few years, we're going to return to in-person meetings of the Equitable Practices Committee. Those who attend are going to get a chance to meet Dr. Lutz, who's going to be overseeing our Equity Action Plan. You're going to learn about the year one goals of the plan and our progress thus far on those goals. And then we're also going to be seeking input from the community on our school to home communication and ways we can enhance that, which is one of the areas of feedback we received from the community. So that's again next Wednesday, the 27th at 6:30 in the middle school library. And then I also want to mention, Maddie mentioned briefly, but our secondary home and schools actually asked me to read an announcement about the presentation tomorrow night, parent-to-parent conversation about the college selection process. So I'm going to read this from Ms. Casaban. Tomorrow, Wednesday, April 20th, from 7 to 8:30 p.m., the secondary HSP is hosting a parent-to-parent conversation about the college selection process with Susie Nam, a parent in our district and member of the secondary HSP. With over 20 years of experience in education, Susie has spent the majority of her career in higher education at both state and private institutions. For 13 years, Susie worked at Swarthmore College, the last 8 of which she served as director of admissions. Prior to her most current role, Susie was the executive director of the Lenfest Scholars Foundation, which provides scholarships and advising to low-income rural students from central Pennsylvania. Currently, she is the co-director of college counseling at the Baldwin School. Susie has also been the director of college counseling at the George School and Germantown Friends School. Susie will share a presentation taking into account her multifaceted experience serving secondary students from the college admissions and secondary counseling perspectives. There will be a question and answer period following the presentation. Parents and guardians will be encouraged to share helpful information they learned with the group. This presentation will primarily be geared to sophomore and junior parents. However, all parents, guardians, and staff in the secondary community are welcome to attend. There is a link to pre-register available on the secondary HSP Facebook page, or you may contact them at SDST SHSP. It's a lot of S's. SDST@gmail.com. After registering, you will receive a confirmation email containing a link to join the meeting. It should be a good meeting tomorrow night. And then they also want me to let you know that following that presentation, the middle and high school administration and I will make very brief district announcements because that should be a robust meeting. And the secondary HSP will provide brief committee updates as well. And then lastly, also from the secondary HSP, they asked that I would announce they're organizing a staff appreciation event. The secondary HSP would like to recognize the middle school and high school teachers, staff, transportation, and facilities team members for all of their hard work, support, and effort in making our children's return to the classroom and learning experience ideal. To do so, they are going to host an end-of-year grab-and-go lunch and could use parents' assistance. Please consider making a donation to fund this event by visiting our Facebook page for a link to donations. All the donations will go 100% to the cost of the lunches, and no amount is too small. And finally, our Spartan choice for this evening. You know that we've been working hard this year on raising student voice and increasing student choice across our schools. Tonight, Dr. McLaurin and his team, who he'll introduce, are going to talk about our elementary program for Spartan Choice Fridays. Dr. McLaurin.
Good evening, school board, Dr. Yanko, and we'd like to thank all of you for giving us the opportunity to share about our Spartan Choice activity period, which we added to our Spartan Pride Time this school year. As you know, our Spartan Pride Time is a 30-minute block of time every single day that we dedicate where our students have the opportunity to develop and learn more about our pillars of pride, as well as engage with our second step resources. But coming into the school year, we spent time as a district leadership team discussing ways that we can develop more personalized, flexible learning opportunities for our students, as well as increase our students' sense of belonging. So we had this idea of adding in a one-day activity period during our Spartan Pride time at the beginning of the year. If you can recall, in the beginning of the year, it's the beginning of the year, the teachers are excited. However, they're a little nervous about starting something new. And so we shared this with our staff, and in that, we weren't ready to launch right at the beginning of the year, but once we shared it with the staff, we had two staff members, Mr. Sean Okawa, fifth grade teacher, and Dr. Rob Benton, our band teacher, step up and emerge and take on the lead to really bring in our Spartan Choice Fridays to effect. And so I want to give this opportunity to, one, publicly thank them for taking the lead to develop this for our school community, but also give them the opportunity to share how our Spartan Choice Fridays evolved and how they're going. So thank you.
So Spartan Choice Fridays have become an exciting part of our school community. Students love having the opportunity to enjoy an activity that they are passionate about, as well as connect with peers and other staff members. Students come back, at least in my classroom, from Spartan Choice Fridays, and they are energized and they are excited.
The staff was very excited to offer this opportunity to the students, and there's a wide variety of clubs that are available to the students. They range from sports clubs like running club and dodgeball and kickball club, all the way to artistic clubs like drawing. There's a Zentangles club and all sorts of other clubs that the students have an opportunity to choose from.
So in order to get this up and running, we had a laundry list of milestones that we needed to hit. Before any implementation, we met as a committee, Dr. McLaurin, Ms. Mack, Dr. Benton, and myself. First, we created a presentation to deliver to the entire staff. This presentation laid out what Spartan Choice would look like, the rationale for including Spartan Choice, as well as like the logistical information and the process and timeframe for Spartan Choice Fridays.
Through this process, we collected staff surveys, and in that staff survey, the staff had the opportunity to choose the size of their group. And this was really important to get the staff to buy in. They were able to develop their own size of group. And as a result, we could form different groups. And then after that, we were able to put those additional staff members into different grade levels to make sure that the groups were nice sizes for each one of the staff members.
So yeah, so once those surveys were completed, we met once more. Like I said, this is a long process. During that meeting, we then arranged those locations for our building for each activity. We placed additional staff members on each grade to limit the number of students in each activity, and then start looking into purchasing materials for all the wide range of different activities that we were offering.
And we're pleased to say that it has been a success. Even teachers that were a little bit hesitant to go into this program, it's been a crazy year, and they experienced it a few weeks, and they really bought into it, and they really enjoyed meeting students outside of what they normally teach in a school day. And a lot of the students got to meet a lot of staff members that they normally wouldn't get to meet during the school day. We also had the students take a survey, and 2/3 of them shared that they were able to establish new peer relationships, which is great. And 80% of the students shared they felt more connected to our school community. So it really helped contribute to our students belonging within the school. So we're really proud of that little tidbit of data for you.
So we were able to create a video where our students were able to share with you their feelings about Spartan Choice Friday. So if we could share that video with our school board and community, we'd appreciate it.
I am Jasmine and I'm in 5th grade, and I think that Spartan Choice is a good way for like kids to meet new friends, and like if you're not good at like meeting new friends, you can like go in Spartan Choice and it'll be easier for you. And I'm doing like bookmaking and arts and crafts, and it's like really fun because I met some new friends, and I like split up with some of my friends so I can meet new friends.
You are like struggling to meet new people,
And if you find like other people in like the same group and activity as you in it, then maybe you can like meet like people who like the stuff that you like, and people who like enjoy like spending time with you and stuff. So I think it's a great way to like connect with people and stuff.
I do walking club for Spartan Choice, and I like it because it's very relaxing, and I get to talk with my friends, and I'm not running, I'm walking.
My name is Derek Leonard, and I'm in third grade. What I love about IQ building is that you can build whatever you want.
My name is Max, I'm in third grade, and what I like about IQ building is you have opportunities to build whatever you want, and you can meet new people. Hi, my name is Sabrina, and I'm in third grade, and I am in drawing with Mrs. Forjohn. And what I like is that there are a lot of kids in this group that I know. Some of them I don't know, and it's fun getting to know them. And I do really love drawing, so that's why I like Spartan Choice.
Spartan Choice was unified board games, and I got to work with students with different special needs, and we got to play all different types of games. It was very fun, and I loved unified board games. My name is Tom in fourth grade, and what I like about Spartan Choice Friday is that you get to meet new people and new staff members.
I'm in fifth grade, and I really like Spartan Choice. You get to meet new people, you get to meet new staff members. You also get to have a specific time in the day to hang out with friends. You also get to play good games. You also get to go outside, have fun. And what I really like about the Spartan Choice is that you can get to meet new people and probably meet some new staff members that you thought you'd never even meet. And you gotta keep doing that. Yes. Ready? Well, let's just try to do it all at the same time. Ready? So, tap, 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 tap. Up. Good. Tap, 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 tap. Up. Down. Good. Tap, tap, tap.
Trav's like, who's walking?
Alright, ready? Are you sure you guys want to do this? Yeah. On your mark. Get set. Go. You gotta roll, Travis. You gotta roll.
Here we have it, Beyblade Spartan Choice activities. There's an epic battle going on in there.
Have a lot of fun. And we are so proud of our students, and we thank Dr. Benton and Mr. Okawa for their dedication and the time that they've put in and the effort. And, you know, as we've come out of this pandemic, what we can see is that our students are resilient. And by the time they get to Friday, they are excited. And even though our teachers are tired, they're excited for Friday. And so we thank you so much for your continued support, and have a great evening.
Thank you, Dr. McLaurin and Ms. Mack. And I want to especially thank Mr. Okawa and Dr. Benton. I don't know if anybody caught that. Dr. Benton recently, formerly Mr. Benton, the music teacher formerly known as Mr. Benton, and also a member of the music staff, will be honored next month. But I really appreciate the fact that that both of you took a lot of time to build this program in addition to your regular duties. And I appreciate that our leadership really embraced the challenge of figuring out how an elementary schedule could offer some choice, which is not as easy as some of the other secondary programs. So I appreciate that, and it's been a real success. And that concludes my report.
Excellent. Any comments on the report? On the board?
Just really glad to see our students, really glad to see what's going on at Erdenheim. And, you know, that is the highlight of what we do here. So thanks for sharing.
Here. Yeah, I would add, Mr. Akawa and Dr. Benton, congrats on the doctor designation. Like, initiative matters so much, but it matters more when the outcomes follow. And to have that stat on the belonging ratings going up is really meaningful. So excellent work. Really proud of you. Okay, we are now heading into public comment on agenda items. I believe we had no signups in the room.
That's right, Mr. Bedard. We haven't any signups in the room. I don't see any hands raised online either. But if anybody is online who wishes to speak on an agenda item, please raise your hand and let us know who you are.
I don't see any. Okay. Give everyone just one more minute.
Sure.
Still seeing no hands. And with that, we will move into the business of today's meeting. We'll start with approval of minutes. We have our March 1st, 2022 interim hybrid board meeting. The Board of School Directors approves the board minutes from March 1st, 2022 interim hybrid board meeting. Is there a motion? And a second? Any comments or questions on the minutes? Okay, Ms. Green.
Mr. Needleman,
Aye.
Mr. DeFranco,
Aye.
Dr. Etlin, Mrs. Green, Mrs. Hubley, Mrs. Hughes, Dr. Taratusky, Mr. Bedard.
Aye. Next, we have our approval of minutes from the March 15th, 2022 regular hybrid board meeting. The Board of School Directors approves the board minutes from March 15th, 2022 regular hybrid board meeting. Is there a motion? Thank you. And a second.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Okay, Ms. Green.
Mr. Needleman,
Aye.
Mr. DeFranco,
Aye.
Dr. Etlin, Mrs. Green, Mrs. Hubley, Mrs. Hughes, Dr. Taratusky, Mr. Bedard.
Aye. And we have the approval of the treasurer's report for the month ended March 31st, 2022. The Board of School Directors approves the March 31st, 2022 treasurer's report. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second? Any comments or questions? Okay, Ms. Green.
Mr. Needleman,
Aye.
Mr. DeFranco,
Aye.
Dr. Etlin, Mrs. Green, Mrs. Hubley, Mrs. Hughes, Dr. Taratusky, Mr. Bedard.
Aye. I really knew I had a Philly accent when I said treasurer's report. All right, moving on to our human resources, personnel and HR contracts. First, personnel. The Board of School Directors approves the following personnel as presented in the attachment: certified personnel, support personnel, temporary personnel, extended school year program personnel, extra pay for extra responsibilities 2021, 2022, and conference workshop attendance. Is there a motion? And a second? Any comments or questions on the personnel file? All right, screen.
Mr. Needleman,
Aye.
Mr. DeFranco,
Aye.
Dr. Etlin, Mrs. Green, Mrs. Hubley, Mrs. Hughes, Dr. Taratusky, Mr. Bedard.
Aye. Moving on to academic affairs. Act 80 days. The Board of School Directors approves the application to PDE for 4 Act 80 days to be used for the high school senior calendar, high school AM and PM VOTEC senior calendars, and out-of-district placed senior calendar. Is there a motion? Thank you. In a second. Any comments or questions on the Act 80 days?
Dr. Yannick, could you just explain for the public and for maybe some other board members what Act 80 days are?
Sure. These are days that we apply for each year to bring closer to 180 days. We don't quite reach it, but to bring closer to 180 days, the number of days seniors are in attendance. Because the seniors graduate prior to the last official day of school, these days assist us in making sure that the seniors get as close as possible. There's a little bit of a cost associated with allowing them to graduate prior to the last official day of school. And this helps us out with that.
Right, Ms. Green.
Mr. Needleman.
Aye.
Mr. DeFranco.
Aye.
Dr. Etlin. Mrs. Green. Mrs. Hubley. Mrs. Hughes. Dr. Taratusky. Mr. Bedard.
Aye. Our subject here is NutriServe Food Management Incorporated. The Board of School Directors approves the renewal of food contract management contract, the food service management contract with NutriServe Food Management at the flat fee of $36,358.08 for the 2022-2023 school year. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions on our food service contract?
Mr. Needleman.
Aye.
Mr. DeFranco.
Aye.
Dr. Etlin. Mrs. Green. Mrs. Hubley. Mrs. Hughes. Dr. Taratusky. Mr. Bedard.
Aye. We have two policies up for vote this evening. First is policy 150, Title I, Comparability of Services. Board of School Directors approves the second reading of policy 150, Title I, Comparability of Services. Is there a motion? Any comments or questions? I'm supposed to ask that. Any comments or questions? Great. I just wanted to comment, just a reminder that the review of these policies is a standard review of all of our policies that we've been undergoing for a period of time during this academic year. Okay. Go ahead and vote on that. Ms. Green.
Mr. Needleman.
Aye.
Mr. DeFranco.
Aye.
Dr. Etlin. Mrs. Green. Mrs. Hubley. Mrs. Hughes. Dr. Taratusky. Mr. Bedard.
Aye. Our second policy this evening is policy 239, foreign exchange students. The Board of School Directors approves the revision to policy 239, foreign exchange students. Is there a motion? And a second? Any comments or questions on foreign exchange student policy? Yeah, Ms. Green.
Mr. Needleman.
Aye.
Mr. DeFranco.
Aye.
Dr. Etlin. Mrs. Green. Mrs. Hubley. Mrs. Hughes. Dr. Taratusky. Mr. Bedard.
Aye. That concludes our business meeting for this evening. We'll move on to public comment on non-agenda items. And Mr. Needleman, do we have any signups in the room?
Thank you, Mr. Bedard. We do not have any in the room, and I do not see any hands raised online either. But again, if any folks are joining us online and wish to speak, please raise your hand, let us know who you are, and then you want to speak.
Give folks just a minute in case they're looking for their hand raise button. Hands raised online and no comments in the room. We'll go ahead and make some announcements about future meeting dates. We have an upcoming interim board meeting on Tuesday, May 3rd, 2022. This will be hybrid. And on Monday, May 16th, 2022 will be our next regular board meeting, also a hybrid meeting. We have a property committee meeting happening tomorrow morning, Wednesday, April 20th, 2022 at 8 a.m. Details can be found on the Springfield Township School District website. An academic affairs committee meeting on Monday, April 25th, 2022 at 5 p.m. And a policy committee meeting will be set up on a to be determined date. With that, just want to thank everyone for attending this evening and Maddie for your update from the students. and open it up for any comments or questions from the board before we conclude this meeting.
I have a comment. I just want to echo just seeing a wonderful presentation always from our student representative, but also just to highlight what's happening again at the elementary school. I love to see a school that's creating a sense of belonging for all students and community. And I just continuing finding myself saying, this is really a great place to have this student, to have a child, to raise a child in this particular district, because you really do care about the individual child. And you see that in the work of Dr. McLaurin and Ms. Mack and the two teachers, Okawa and Dr. Benton. We really do appreciate the work that you do every day with the students and your staff that's working there, because it really does take the entire community of teachers to buy in, and teachers that are even hesitant still are buying in because they love the students there. So it's just a great thing to see in our district once again.
Well said. Thank you. I'll allow you to have the final word if you have anything to say, anything to add this
I'll
evening.
just say we hope to see people out at these evening events. Looking forward to celebrating the seniors and juniors next Friday night. And thank you to the board for your ongoing support. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Great. We'll adjourn tonight's meeting. Thank you, everyone.